Dating doesn't always end for those who are married. Hey, welcome to Online for Love, your #1 resource for dating by the numbers. Today we're going to be going over an online dating website called Tinder, but more specifically, we're going to be talking about everything you need to know about using Tinder while being married. Before we get into that though, I do need to tell you guys about our Tinder 101 Hub. Our Tinder 101 Hub consists of 70 plus articles that give you the information needed in order to master Tinder. And another indispensable necessity is our Tinder opening line formula. Using the Tinder opening line formula, we've discovered that users have received 3 times the response rate that they had before. You can find those necessities in the links in the bio down below, along with our online dating app quiz and more. So in order to make this video a bit easier to comprehend, I've broken it down into these 5 sections. The first of which being using Tinder while being married, using Tinder with your spouse, what if you truly get interested, how to avoid peers on the app, and how to find your cheating spouse on Tinder. So without further ado, let's jump into #1 on my list, which is using Tinder while married. You've been in a loving relationship for maybe 10 to 15 years now, but you can't help but be curious about your options that are out there. Now, there is a way to go about this ethically, and you definitely shouldn't be doing this behind your spouse's back. Believe it or not, there are tons of couples, and married couples specifically, who are in open relationships. This means that those couples are actually utilizing websites like Tinder while they're married with their partner, either individually or together at the same time, and they're all okay with it. Obviously, if you're going to use Tinder and not tell your spouse about it, this is going to be morally wrong and you can expect to be signing divorce papers very soon. However, there is going to be a key theme throughout this entire video, and that theme is trust and communication. So if you can trust your spouse and communicate with your spouse about exactly what your intentions are with the app, what your boundaries are, and what their boundaries are and their intentions are, then you can absolutely ethically use Tinder while you are in fact married. In fact, for many married couples, opening up their relationship has actually made the relationship stronger. But do keep in mind though that if you feel like you can't trust your partner or your partner can't trust you, or neither of you can communicate well with each other, then this is most certainly not going to work out for you guys. Once you are sure that your relationship is structurally sound enough, then you can go ahead and start utilizing Tinder to see what your options are out there. So this is going to move me into #2 on my list, but before we jump into that, I did want to ask you guys to be sure you are hitting like and subscribe. Seriously, it really does help push our videos out so that more users can utilize this information from us here at Online for Love. We super duper appreciate it. So this is going to move me into #2 on my list, which is using Tinder with your spouse. So while we've been going throughout this video, I imagine you were thinking about using Tinder as an individual while you were married. However, there are tons of users out there who do actually use Tinder together on a single account. There are many reasons to do this, but I think the most popular reason is that couples just want to spice things up, and typically these couples are looking for situations like threesomes. Of course, there are couples out there who also use Tinder as 2 individual accounts and immediately exclaim that they are in an open, ethical relationship, which is completely fine as well. Just know that there are multiple different ways that you can go about this. And on top of this as well, there are tons of different intentions for people to be doing stuff like this too. So there are going to be users out there who are literally just looking to get a little bit of self-confidence boost and will never actually meet up with somebody. They just want to know that they're getting swiped right on. But there will also be couples out there who are actually looking to go out, hook up with other people, possibly date them, and maybe even be in a poly relationship with some people. But again, keep in mind that all of these situations can only work if both parties are actually well trusting of each other and you are both communicating how you feel at all times. You need to be aware that this isn't something that is typically done by a lot of couples, so in order for you to do this, you need to have a high level of trust and communication with your partner. Now, while Tinder is a great website for those married couples who are looking to find other partners out there in the online dating world, it might not be the absolute best website for you. So one way you can figure out what that best dating website could be is by taking our online dating website quiz. Our online dating website quiz asks you a host of questions specifically geared towards what you're looking for in an online dating website, and at the end of that quiz is going to let you know what the perfect online dating website is for you personally. So this is going to move me into #3 on my list, which is what if you actually do get interested? So maybe you are utilizing this app and you feel that you're getting really connected with somebody on the app more than your partner, let's say. This is something that you should really try to avoid because this isn't very ethical. There are multiple different ways to avoid doing this, but one great way to do this is to talk to your partner about boundaries. A lot of people in open relationships will set certain rules or boundaries as to how they can actually date other people, and it's a great way to ensure that you're more than likely not going to hurt your partner. So some examples of rules can be things like you can't spend a night over with somebody, or you can't spend more than 3 dates with an individual. things along the lines of this. Couples, of course, get creative and they make it very unique to what their desires are, and that's something that you can do through communication and trust with your partner. This has, of course, evolved in a sense to people being in poly relationships as well. So those people who feel like they can't lose that connection with somebody they met up with and that their partner also has a connection with that person, then all of a sudden you have 3 people or more in a relationship. But again, I do want to reiterate that these are all possibilities that you need to communicate with your partner, because not everybody is going to be okay with that. So you got to be sure that your partner and yourself is absolutely ready to do something like that. Honestly, Tinder is not going to be a great place for you to be browsing around if your marriage doesn't have stability to begin with. So you want to make sure, again, that your marriage is structurally sound before you do anything in this app. But if you do find that your marriage is structurally sound and maybe you want to start swiping through people and you're getting matches, you might not know how to communicate with them. Well, one way you can figure out how to do that is by checking out our secret Tinder opening line formula. Our secret Tinder opening line formula is an indispensable necessity for anybody who is looking to have great communication with other users online. In fact, users who have utilized this secret formula have had a 3 times more response rate compared to when they weren't using the formula before. So if you want to have better conversations that lead to better dates, then you should absolutely check out our secret Tinder opening line formula. So this is going to move me into number 4 on my list, which is how to avoid peers on the app. While you have communicated and have full trust with your partner and vice versa, you might not want to communicate these ideas to, let's say, your friends or your family members who might not think that it's a very appropriate thing to be doing. And if you think the real world is small, on Tinder, it's even smaller. Honestly, if one of your friends ended up swiping left or right on your wife and they came to tell you about it, how would you be able to answer that without lying to them? And nobody really wants to be caught up in that situation. Here are some steps that you can do in order to make sure that your friends and family are unaware that you were using the app. And the first and most important one is to turn off your notifications. Most people are familiar with what the Tinder sounds notification sounds like. So even if they're not looking at their screen, they'll know that you're active on Tinder and you are married. Outside of that, you want to make sure that you're linking fake social medias as well. So when you do sign up, you do utilize a Facebook account, and you do also optionally have the option to attach an Instagram or Spotify. Just to take that extra precaution, it's a good idea to use fake accounts in case anything ends up getting exposed on any of these accounts. It won't be your real accounts. And another big tip I need to tell you guys is that you got to put photos that don't show your identity. This is going to be a double-edged sword on Tinder, because while you can post photos that do hide your face and you can write a description describing what you are looking for, more and more users are less likely to swipe right on you if they feel like they can't get a good look of your face. However, if you are trying to hide your identity on this app, hiding your face in your photos is going to be essential. And then further past that, you want to make sure that your Instagram photos aren't identifying you as well if you do link your Instagram. Users can see your Instagram photos on Tinder directly, so of course you're not going to want to have your face on there if you're hiding your face on your actual Tinder profile. And of course, another way you're going to make sure you're not actually going to get caught on Tinder is to not use Tinder as yourself. Use a fake name and use a fake age as well. This is absolutely going to help make sure that your identity is completely safe. But I again want to reiterate that this is for those users who don't want their friends and family to find out what they and their spouse are doing, and not that you're trying to hide this from your spouse. That's again a very unethical thing to do, and we don't support that here, and we really hope that you are being honest with your spouse. Otherwise, you're going to be signing divorce papers, and nobody wants to do that. So this is going to move me onto number 5 on my list, but before I jump into that, I did want to ask you guys to be sure you are hitting like and subscribe. Seriously, it really does help push our videos out so that more users can get more information from us here at Online for Love. We super duper appreciate it. So this is going to move me into number 5 on my list, which is how to find your cheating spouse on Tinder. Now, of course, we tried making this video with the progressive view that those users who are married and using Tinder are doing so ethically, but a lot of our viewers might be coming to this video not for that reason. Rather, they're coming to this video to figure out if their spouse is actually using Tinder behind their back. Now, before I go over any of the tactics to employ in order to find your spouse on Tinder, I do want to say that finding finding your spouse using Tinder is not going to be something that will save your marriage. The best thing you can do is honestly have strong communication with your spouse, and of course, this isn't always going to be a short answer. There are spouses out there who are untrustworthy and who do lie to you. So I'm not going to say it's a perfect answer, but if you can find somebody who is going to be a great communicator with you, and hopefully your spouse is, then having that open conversation with them is going to save a lot of headache. Outside of that though, there are some tactics you can employ, and this includes watching your partner's behavior. If they act a certain way when you ask them certain questions, ways that they don't usually act, like asking them what they think about Tinder and things along the lines of that, then it's obviously going to be a red flag for them. Also, you can check their device as well, and you can look through the device's search history if they searched anything that was suspicious as well. There are also apps as well that are out there that see if your partner is on Tinder, so you could utilize those. And outside of that, you can actually also set up a Tinder profile yourself, strictly for looking for your spouse on the app. You would of course put this Tinder profile set up with blank photos and a description, basically saying that you're just trying to find your cheating spouse on this app and if they're on there. And then you wouldn't be communicating with anybody, so you would obviously swipe left on every individual, so no communication is possible. But again, finding your spouse on this app is not going to be a savior for your marriage. It's more than likely just going to give you answers, and I'm sorry if that's the case. And again, this theme throughout this video is communication and trust. If you are going to use this app while you are married, it is most important that you are communicating with your partner and you and your partner both trust each other while using this app. It is absolutely possible to use these apps while in an open marriage. Many people have done it. Many people have had stronger relationships because of it, and it's absolutely something that you can do if you can learn, again, to communicate and trust your partner. Of course, you probably haven't dated in a long time and you want to make sure that your Tinder profile looks the best so that you can get the most matches and most potential dates. So I do have to suggest for you to do that, to check out our Tinder 101 Hub. Our Tinder 101 Hub consists of 70+ articles that give you the information needed in order to master Tinder. And another indispensable necessity is our Tinder opening line formula. Using the Tinder opening line formula, we've discovered that users have received 3 times the response rate that they had before. You can find these necessities in the links in the bio down below, along with our online dating app quiz and more. If you guys want to see some more content from us, be sure to check out our videos popping up on my left and right here. And I did want to ask you guys one more time to be sure you are hitting like and subscribe. Seriously, really does help us out, pushes our videos out so that more users can utilize this information from us here at Online for Love. Super duper appreciate it, and I'll catch you guys here next time on Online for Love. See ya.